Today I'm going to be showing you how to make Garri. Yes. Hi darlings, how are you doing? Trust you're doing good. You're welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to have you here. My name is Adajoy and I'm interested in all the activities that keeps your home healthy, organized, habitable, beautiful and functional. So if you're new here, please do well to like, subscribe, click the notification button so that you will know when a new video is released, and share so that this video can reach other beautiful people out there. Thank you so much. Garri is a carbohydrate source food made from a staple called cassava tubers through the process of fermentation. It is popular and widely consumed in West Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone and others because it is affordable, easy to prepare and rich in carbohydrates, making it an important staple food for all. The first step in making Garri is harvesting the cassava tubers. Garri is best made with cassava tubers that is freshly harvested. Cassava usually takes about 6 months to 1 year to mature, after which it is being harvested using a machine or uprooted by hand, just like this. Wonderful. It's amazing how one stick put into the ground turns out to produce something this huge. God is really great. So the next step is peeling. People who harvest large amounts of cassavas and cannot peel them themselves in their houses can bring them to a Garri factory. In this particular factory, there are various workers ready to help out. So the first thing they do is to portion the cassava tubers, as you can see. So one portion goes for 100 naira for peeling. So anyone that takes one portion gets to receive 100 naira for peeling them. After which the peeling process starts. You can see how this is done. It's so beautiful. And I particularly like the fact that it's not just adults that do this. Children also are involved. So these women that work here prefer to have their children assist them to make more money while doing it, instead of having them in the streets playing around or wasting time. So they come here with their mothers and help them out while they also learn, because I actually believe that no knowledge is a waste. So the cassava is peeled to remove the outer skin, which is toxic due to the presence of cyanogenic compound. So this is the one that has already been peeled. It's being kept in a bucket like this. It mustn't be a bucket actually, it can be anything. If you notice, this one that is brown like this is as a result of being exposed to the sun. Some species of cassava tend to change color like this when they are being exposed to the sun. So that's why this particular one is like this. The next step is washing. So after the cassava is being peeled, it is then washed, properly washed. I mean thoroughly washed to remove dirt and any remaining toxin. If the cassava is not peeled in the factory, it is packaged in bags like this from wherever it was peeled and brought to the factory where it will be grinded. So these are already peeled, washed cassava, packaged and waiting to be grinded, and this is the grinding machine. There are different kinds of grinding machine for Garri, but this particular one we are using is the locally made wooden one that grinds Garri into pulp. So the cassava is poured out into a big bowl and then transferred from the bowl into the wooden grinding machine. It is in this process you determine whether or not you want your Garri to be Ijebu. If you want Ijebu Garri, then it has to be grinded finely. Like after the first grinding is grinded again thoroughly for it to come out fine and very smooth. This particular one is not Ijebu Garri, so it's just going to be ground once. This is what it looks like as it's coming out of the machine. The machine has a collector that collects. It's not just pouring on a bare ground or bare floor. It's actually a gradual process where you learn patience. So you have to just wait for it to be coming out, and then moving it aside so that there'll be space for the next ones that are still coming out. So as they are dropping, you push them aside or transfer into a bowl if you have to grind a whole lot of cassava. The next step is drying. Some call it pressing, some call it milling, whichever one it is. The cassava pulp is all ready to be portioned, and it's also in this process that you determine whether you want your garri to be white or you want to make yellow garri. So if it's a white garri you want to do, you just go ahead to transfer it into a bag. Meanwhile, to avoid a situation like this whereby it takes the water from the cassava pulp so long to escape through the bag, it is best to get a bag that the pores are large enough to allow water pass through in order for the cassava pulp to dry easily. But if you do not have a bag like that, you can as well try to pull some strands like this, just like she's doing here right now, in order for the water to pass through the bag. So once you're sure your bag is perfect for this particular process, you can go ahead to transfer the cassava pulp into the bag. If you've watched this video to this point and you've not yet subscribed to my channel, please, so that you'll not forget, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button right now. Thank you. In this particular factory, this bucket is used for portioning. So for one bag, they have one bucket of cassava pulp in it, so that it will help them know how much to charge for one bag. But if it's yellow garri you want, then this is the process of making the yellow garri. First of all, you need to make sure that the cassava pulp is not too much for the bowl that you're going to be using. So you add oil to cassava pulp and then mix together very well, then transfer into your bag. This is where the already portioned cassava pulp is kept for a while, where they are being tagged for proper identification, because there's usually lots of people coming to mine their cassava for garri. So it's very important to have these bags tagged and then properly identified, so that when anybody comes, they'll be able to identify which bag is their own and carry it. Like this particular one now has a nylon tied at the tip of the bag. So assuming the owner of this particular one now has 3 bags here, you have the same color of nylon tied at the tip of the bag for easy identification. After this is done, the bags are then being carried and placed in a press. This can also be done traditionally by placing a stone on it, or mechanically like this one, using hydraulic press in order to squeeze out excess water from the cassava pulp. The pressing also helps in fermentation and reduction of cyanide, as well as facilitates drying. So as you can see, the man is placing the bags on top of each other and then tucked in properly, so that the cassava pulp will not pour out during pressing, or maybe during the process of carrying it out after the pressing. So you can see how careful the man is with placing the bags and how neat the whole arrangement is. This is so amazing. So this is how far he has gone with the whole arrangement. So he keeps doing it like that till he can contain as much as he can, but his intention is to make sure that it gets filled up. As you can see, the water is already dripping. There's also a provision for an outlet where the water can drip out into the river. One particular thing I love about this factory is that it's very close to water, like it has a river close to it, so everything is neatly done, the environment is neat and all of that. So the water just drips into the running river and then gets washed out, so you don't get to have the environment smell or anything like that. They have access to water for everything they have to do here. So the whole idea of this hydraulic press is to add going to be sieve, which in turn helps the water from the cassava pulp to drip out.